swapping out printing matrices to make a secondary layer. So I have some ink residue from the first printing left on my printing board, so I'm going to get a new piece of paper and try to pull off some of this ink, but within this printmaking matrice. So by the time you start to layer things and they go through the press like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times, I think that's when they start to get interesting. So now I'll swap to a new color so that I can kind of keep building things. So this was a collaborative artist book project that came out of a residency I did in Cuba in April. So 3 artists, one Cuban, one European, one American, got together and kind of talked about the quality of the state of being and their kind of emotive response to it, and thought about that versus the auditory experience. So it's written in 3 languages, visual, Spanish, and English, and none of these are translations. They're all 3 different artists' viewpoint of the same topic. So it really becomes a conversation, and I think to fully kind of grasp the book, there needs to be an understanding of all 3 languages. And so these are relief prints and screen prints, hand-bound in artist books with a slip case. And so these are printed in an edition of 50, all hand-bound by the artists. We were lucky enough that we could all be in the same place at the same time for some work time. And the original printing and artist proof was developed at the the Taller de Experimental Gráfica in Havana, Cuba. This particular series, I wanted to kind of reveal the process. These are large-scale wood blocks. The whole installation is 72 by 154. And what I've done is gone ahead and hand-carved all of these areas to leave a raised surface, and that's a surface that you can apply ink to, and the ink can then be printed on paper. But because of the way that this particular piece was designed, the blocks go ahead and get printed twice, and then the blocks become part of the piece. So now at this point I'm going to start painting and working back on top. But it talks about a little bit of the idea of how the wood has to be kind of carved away, excavated, and destroyed to actually start to build the image. And I thought that was an interesting way to start talking about some of the patterning and information systems that I normally utilize in my work. I'm really investigating the idea of information systems. It's really something that interests me when you can take scientific equation or natural phenomenon and how that can become translated in a visual format that's readable. So I've worked with a lot of these different series based from kind of a wide array of sources, and I'm kind of combining them to make this pastiche of information systems that kind of brings about both a kind of aesthetic quality and this feeling of overlapping information.